Interview with a Dinosaur Hunter. Paul Sereno's expeditions as a paleontologist have taken him to Argentina, China, Mongolia, and Africa, where he has helped discover 6 new species or classes of dinosaurs. This interview took place just before Paul Sereno left on yet another expedition that took him to the Sahara in Africa. Odyssey. What do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about dinosaurs? Paul Sereno. Well, most people think that all dinosaurs lasted for the entire Mesozoic era and got snuffed out by an asteroid. That couldn't be further from the truth. Your average species lasted only a few million years, and new species arose all the time. It was a conveyor belt of species. The fact that different dinosaurs evolved on continents that had drifted apart is also news to a lot of people. Odyssey. It seems as if several new species of dinosaurs are discovered each year, and they seem to be getting bigger and bigger. Is there any way to estimate how many new dinosaur species remain to be discovered? Paul Sereno. There are plenty more dinosaur species to be discovered. We seem to be entering a golden era of sorts for new species, with 6 or 7 new ones being discovered each year. That rate will probably slow down after another 50 years or so maybe 300 more. Odyssey. What has been the most thrilling discovery of your career? Paul Sereno. When we found skeletons of Herosaurus, a little known flesh eating theropod, against the odds in Patagonia, Argentina, it was my first team. 6 young people joined me, and we found the earliest dinosaur on record, dating back to the middle of the Triassic period, some 228 million years ago. Everyone said we couldn't do it, so after 3 weeks of searching, walking up to the skeleton the way it was exposed, with part of the skull and neck just visible on the surface of a rocky ledge, was the thrill of a lifetime. Odyssey. What is the most dangerous expedition that you've been on? Paul Sereno. The 1993 expedition to Niger, Africa, when we crossed the Sahara Desert twice, excavated 6 tons of dinosaur bone, and got it all back, as well as us, at the same time. That was a very exciting expedition. Odyssey. How do you actually search for dinosaur fossils? Paul Sereno. With legs, brains, and actions. You need energy, lots of it. You need good legs. I like to go places with good exposure, where there are dinosaur beds and outcroppings on the surface. You don't dig blindly. When you get into the area, you make appropriate strategic decisions based on fragments of fossils that you find. So first you have to find a bone, and that's where the team comes into play. Why does our team find fossils every time? Well, we take a very young crew that can walk incredible distances. Odyssey. How do you analyze the newly extracted fossils? Paul Sereno. Well, first I describe the specimens that are new to science, but ultimately it's the big patterns of evolution that I'm after, such as why these animals evolved where they did, and ultimately how they fit into the big pattern of evolution. Odyssey. What advice can you give to young people who are fascinated by dinosaurs and would love to have a career in paleontology? Paul Sereno. Well, I think you can be whatever you want to be as long as you give yourself a chance. Find talents that are locked inside you just under your skin. You can begin to do that by volunteering in labs and museums, or by joining a group that's going into the field. In school, take a lot of science, from math to biology, and also take art. Odyssey. Finally, everyone fantasizes about living with dinosaurs. If they had survived and evolved to be highly intelligent creatures, what do you think would have happened? Paul Sereno. We already know. They're with us. They live as birds. Birds have big brains and they are intelligent. That's indeed what dinosaurs have evolved into. We always tend to think of we, or something like us, as the end point of evolution. No way. Dinosaurs are with us today. Their descendants are birds, and that's perfectly acceptable. Number 1. Based on this interview, what trait would best describe Paul Sereno? Support your answer using details from the text. Number 2. Which sentence best describes the main idea of this interview? A. Young people should aspire to be paleontologists. B. Paul Sereno is a famous paleontologist who has discovered many dinosaurs. C. There's a lot to learn about dinosaurs that people often don't think about. D. Searching for dinosaurs takes a lot of hard work. Number 3. Which two details from the text best support the idea that discovering a new dinosaur species is hard work? A. You need lots of energy. Or you need energy, lots of it. B. Well, most people think that all the dinosaurs lasted for the entire Mesozoic era and got snuffed out by an asteroid. C. In school, take lots of science, from math to biology, also take art. D. The rate will probably slow down after another 50 years, so maybe 300 more. E. When you get into the area, you make appropriate strategic decisions based on fragments of fossils that you find. Number 4. What is Paul Sereno's occupation? A. Teacher. B. Nurse. C. Paleontologist. D. Astronaut. Number 5. Part A. Which statement best describes why discovering skeletons of Herrerasaurus was so exciting for Paul Sereno? A. People have been searching for a long time for these skeletons and his team finally found them. B. It was the first time Sereno worked on this team. C. No one thought Sereno would be able to find the skeleton. D. The skeleton was the oldest dinosaur remains ever discovered. Part B. Which detail from the text best supports your answer to Part A? A. Everyone said we couldn't do it, so after 3 weeks of searching. B. It was my first team. 6 young people joined me. C. And we found the earliest dinosaur on record, dating back to the middle of the Triassic period, some 228 million years ago. D. Was the thrill of a lifetime.